Well, good morning and welcome, Al Copeland. Welcome back to campus of the Palmer family, trustees, and other honored guests. I have to admit to you, I've been looking forward to this day for 6 months, maybe more than anyone. And it's because I was looking forward to honoring Gene Copeland and to celebrate Al and Gene's 40 plus years of service to this institution, the tens of thousands of lives that they've had an impact on over that period of time. And I'm glad that we waited until today when the weather, the pandemic, and other things allow us to have this small group, but important group, trustees, which Al is one of them, to be able to be in person for this special gathering. And so to start things off, I'd like to ask our chaplain, the Reverend Scott Matheny, to come forward and give a blessing.
Thank you, Troy. In the Hebrew Scriptures, the prophet Nehemiah invites in a commanding declaration, "Come, let us rise up and build together." Come, let us rise up and build together. Today, our invocation and dedication is rooted in Nehemiah's great call. Beloved, in all the ways that you understand the holy, let us join our hearts together. Let us gather. Almighty and eternal one, our dedication today rests in your hands. To name and to build new buildings requires qualities of imagination, hope, boldness, trust. These are the guiding qualities that led our trustee Al Copeland and his wife Jean in their lives that brings us today as they summon in us a vision of building together for Elmhurst, for others. So, Almighty and Eternal One, lift us up and bless this time as we dedicate this building, that what we are given at Elmhurst University and this blessed Copeland Hall may serve as a light unto the nation, and that it may gather young men and women, that they may grow in strength, knowledge, and character, that future generations of students, faculty, and administration will also hear that clarion call, "Come, let us rise up and build together." And so, may there be a deep blessing of appreciation that surrounds these that have gathered here now, for their lives, for their moment, for this time, and for the future of Elmhurst. Come, let us rise up and build together. Amen. Thank you, Troy.
Well, thank you, Scott. Gene and Al's have served the university with distinction and generosity for over 40 years. Al served on our board of trustees starting in 1981, and he and Gene have made at least 50 significant philanthropic gifts to this institution. Earlier this year, or actually at the tail end of last calendar year, Al made a gift in Gene's memory, and it was the largest gift by a living donor in Elmhurst University's history. Throughout their lives, Al and Gene have contributed to causes that were important to them, specifically education and healthcare. And the Copeland's years of support and service have had an invaluable impact on the campus community, and that's what brings us here today. We're thrilled to be able to celebrate Gene's life and her inspiring impact that she had on many people by dedicating the building formerly known as Circle Hall as Gene Copeland Memorial Hall. As many of you know, when it came to business, Al often called Gene the brains of the operation. She was an avid reader, a self-taught architect and designer whose designs and business acumen helped her and Al to build hundreds of homes, business buildings, apartments, shopping centers throughout the western suburbs. Gene was also the heart of her family, and she brought a sense of adventure and wonder to their lives. Pull up her obituary or talk to some of the family members, and they'll tell you some of the places. Annette, who's part Cuban, and I went to Cuba a few years ago, but we just had to check a box to be able to say, it was allowed. She went to Cuba back when nobody went to Cuba but Gene and Al Copeland and their particular family. And the success that they made from very humble beginnings and the generosity with which they've shared it really should serve as an inspiration for all of us today. But as impressive as Al and Jean are as individuals, it was the incredible power of their partnership that made them unstoppable. And I can fully appreciate that kind of relationship because I'm blessed to have found something similar in my wife Annette, and we're trying to forge ahead together. And I'm going to ask her to help me with that partnership in just a second. But hold on. If you want, honey. While today's dedication of Jean Copeland Memorial Hall symbolizes the Copeland's enduring legacy, their impact extends far beyond one building. The trustees just took a tour around campus, and you would be hard-pressed to go or see anybody on this campus that hasn't been touched by the lives of the Copelands and their dedication. Faculty endeavors, student scholarships, curriculum development. You just go anywhere and you'll see that. Our graduate programs, I remember, Al talking to me ever since I've had the good fortune to be associated with Elmhurst University that we needed to grow our graduate programs. How many times did we talk about the nursing program, Al? I think every time we talked. The speech clinic, occupational therapy, undergraduate research programs, something that they really helped with a few years ago, and of course just general financial aid scholarships. So I think it's fitting that this particular building is the one that we're putting Jean's name on. It's the only building on this academic side of campus that has a door that opens out to the community. In fact, it's the door right here on the north side. And it really symbolizes the community partnership that's so vital to what we're trying to accomplish here as we try to prepare students for a world that is going to be external and off of this particular campus. And so at this time, before I introduce our other speakers, we would like to present Al and the Palmer family with a token of our appreciation. And now, Annette or Vanna. Thank you for all that you've done, and it's now my privilege to introduce the chair of the Elmhurst University Board of Trustees, Ed Momkus.
Welcome to everyone. I think it's fair to say that I started writing something down at least a dozen times and didn't like any of what I wrote. And so I figured in the end it was probably easiest just to kind of jot something down of what I felt about Al and Jean's contributions over the years. So here it is. Al, you and Jean have been the special type of people that change lives, lift people up, and really make the world a better place. We are blessed that 40 years ago, you decided that one of the causes that you want to contribute to is Elmhurst, then college, now university. And your wisdom of gifts have made a big difference here, a very big difference. One of the wisest things I've ever heard was uttered in a conversation that I was having with two other people. And one of these two people was extremely angry at someone that they felt had wronged them. And he declared that he was going to get even with that person. And then after a moment of silence, the other person that was with us at the time says, the only people you should try and get even with are those people who've helped you in life, not those people that you think wronged you. And Al, we're going to have to work very long and very hard to get even with you and Jean have done for Elmhurst University. We sincerely hope that this dedication of Jean Copeland Memorial Hall is a small step in that direction. Thank you.
The building we're dedicating today also houses the Communication Sciences and Disorders program, which has benefited significantly from the Copeland's generosity. And here to say a few words from our faculty, I think is a very fitting person, Dr. Brender Gorman, who's the chair of our Communication Sciences and Disorders program.
Good morning. I'm so pleased to be here. The last time we saw you, Al, we had another dedication for you. Truly, Al Copeland and his family have been a champion of the CSD Communication Sciences and Disorders Department. A long history back in 2013 when we launched the graduate program in speech language pathology. Back in 2017 when we invited you last, you helped us expand and equip our Voice and Swallowing Center. And even recently, this past year, equipping all of our therapy rooms with state-of-the-art video equipment that truly maximizes student training. And so I want to say over the years, even with graduate students, we've had over 140 graduate students. So there's a lot of heart and soul from the family in this building. But each of those students, when you think of the number of people that they go on to train, it far exceeds the number of graduate students. Every year, each of our graduates works with probably 50 to 100 people each year. So when you do the math, and I actually did this yesterday, I was curious, we're really talking in the tens of thousands of lives that you've touched, because our students then go out to provide high quality services to individuals with disabilities, with speech, language, hearing, and swallowing disorders, and even beyond them, because when you have an individual in your family with special needs or a disability, it's the community. You're impacting their family, their parents, their spouses, their children. So again, tens and tens of thousands of individuals that you've touched by contributing. So on behalf of our Department and Education and Health Sciences, we truly do thank you for being a champion of our students, but also just the entire community that our students ultimately serve. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gorman. The first time Annette and I met Jean was actually at Eva Tamling's home, where she was hosting a series of get-to-know-you events. I think I had met Al at a board meeting a bit prior to that. And I think it's no surprise to anybody that Eva and Al hold each other in high regard. I don't want to betray our private conversations, Al, but I remember I called him last year when we wanted to give him the Founders Award. And Al, being the humble person that he was, said, I don't know if I want that. Give it to Eva Tamling. Well, Eva probably nominated you for the Founders Award, and so it was a cyclical way. But what a great way to something to have. And I appreciate you letting us giving us the Founders Award. Eva's day will come, but that was your particular day. But it gives us our pleasure now to introduce trustee and longtime friend of the Copelands, Eva Tamling, to bring some words as well.
Well, good morning. It's almost good afternoon, but still a little bit good morning. I first met Al Copeland in 1980. I had just become an attorney, graduated from DePaul University, and I rented space from Al at the corner of York and Ogden in his building there. Al is primarily responsible for me being on this board today. He encouraged it and wanted me to join the board, and I'm so glad that I did so many years ago. Al has been a mentor to me. He has made himself available anytime I've asked him for planning or any kind of affairs that need to be dealt with. He's always made himself available, and I appreciate that. I remember on one occasion, and Al will remember this too because he constantly makes fun of me, the fact that in my office I had an infant because Mary, who's an attorney in my office now, actually was in a bassinet by my desk most of the time when he would come over to visit. He was sitting there and he had come over to my office to talk to someone who wanted me to make an investment with them. And I always wanted Al to kind of find out, would this be a good investment for me to make? So he's sitting there and Al was asking him questions, and then the individual turned to Al and said, do you have any partners in your business? And he goes, oh yes. I have a partner in every business that I ever enter into, whether it's a building or an investment or whatever. It's my wife, Jean. She is my partner. And she was his partner in everything that they did. She was a backbone of everything that Al did. And he appreciated her, and I appreciated her too. Together, in their course of conduct, provided and cared for the average person, which is such an honorable thing for what Al did. He has numerous buildings in very influential areas, Oak Brook, Hinsdale, all over. And his rents are like 1/3 of what everybody else charges that are building owners in the area. He allows the common person and the common business to have a presence in affluent areas when you would not be able to do that if it was not for all of the buildings that Al Copeland has put there. Al and his family are the support of and generous to so many other people. He has a passion for professors in this university. I know everyone's talked about all the things he's done, but when I've had discussions with him, with a group of trustees, he makes arguments on behalf of the professors. He throws out an amount and says, you trustees have to match it, and this is gonna help the professors, because that's who he wanted to help. And he just has been adamant about his passions, and we all appreciate him for that. I am personally honored to be able to speak on behalf of Al. Elmhurst University is the recipient of the prestige that he brings to all of us. And it will be evident to all those who come to visit, either to work or attend, or just to come to the campus because of the markings that we have on this building that we're dedicating now. The fingerprint of Gene and Al were instrumental in the significant success of this university, and we all recognize that. Al and Gene, thank you for all that you give to others, your kindness, your thoughtfulness, and your care and concern for the common man. Thank you.
And last and importantly, Al's daughter, Caroline, who has been so great to work with preparing for this event over the past several months. I appreciate your patience, but also your collaboration in this regard, and we are grateful that you're going to offer some words from the family.
I'm going to read mine instead of somebody else's. So here we go. Okay. I'm shorter than everyone else, so I better move this down a little bit. On behalf of my entire family, my father, Al, my husband, Stu, my son, John, my daughter, Beth, and of course, my son-in-law, Kevin, I want to sincerely thank everyone here that worked so hard to make this such a memorable event. While I could talk forever about the two most inspirational people in my life, my mom and dad, I promised my father I would be very brief. Let me tell you a little bit about my best girlfriend, my mom, Jean Copeland. Jean was truly the smartest person I ever met, and also the strongest. She grew up in a tiny basement apartment, the daughter of a widow during the Depression. Always determined to rise above her circumstances, she educated herself for her voracious appetite for reading. Jean went from being a latchkey kid in a small apartment to a world traveler and a highly successful businesswoman. How gratifying it is to see her name so prominently displayed on a university building, since she always wanted to attend college, but was never able to afford it. My father also had humble beginnings. Unable to find work as a veteran, he offered to work for free just to stay busy. That eventually led to a job as a kitchen cabinet salesman where he learned the construction trade. He always says he was a stumble bum before he met my mother. According to him, he kept building houses, but wasn't really successful until my mom stepped in. She studied hard, learning architecture and design at every public library in the whole Chicagoland area. Armed with my father's business acumen and my mother's design talent, together they built a real estate development company and management company, and they really did build it together. While my father always gave credit to my mother, those of you who know him know what a brilliant, charismatic, and generous man he really is. Education is something that my father has always so strongly believed in and worked so hard to promote throughout his life. As you know, he is the longest serving director here at Elmhurst University and has devoted over 40 years of time, energy, and resources to this institution. My father, as you know, has initiated multiple new educational programs and funded countless scholarships. Elmhurst University is a very, very special place for my father and for our family. Memorializing my mother's name on this beautiful building is my father's way and our family's way of giving tribute to his soulmate at a place that means so very much to him and to our family. Thank you so much. We really appreciate this honor.
Well, now we have a ribbon cutting that's going to take place. I think we'll move it up here in front of the stage if we don't mind, and we have enough scissors for all of the Copeland and Palmer family. Ed, Eva, would you mind joining us in that, and we'll let them be the center. And why don't we line up here? Al, can you want to be right here? Come on this side. We want to do this a lot coming up. Come on down. All right, are we ready? We're going to let Al be the first cut, but on the count of three, and you guys go 1, 2, 3. This concludes our formal program, but I would encourage you to walk around the building. There's beautiful signage that, as you can see, we've got a $2 million project in the parking lot going on, which, trust me, the students will really like. But think about every day they'll park in the parking lot, they'll walk up and they'll see the new signage, and hopefully they'll stop and look at the plaque inside, which I'd encourage you to do as well. And then, of course, anybody that drives on campus, this is the building that you'll see right on your right-hand side as you first enter the campus grounds. So take a little tour for that, and we've got lunch for everyone inside the Frick Center and Founders Lounge, Molly? Yes, Founders Lounge, and enjoy this day. Thanks again.
Thank you.